Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm here with Angie Lewis from Angie Say Less. Angie, can you introduce yourself and what you do?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Angie Sayles. I'm originally from New York City. I am a full-time entrepreneur and a Airbnb superhost. I specialize in short-term rentals and midterm rentals.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So Angie, what is your passion? How did you get involved in real estate? Where did it all begin?
Yeah, so I started my real estate journey in 2017. I bought my first house in Birmingham, Alabama, and I was super excited about it. I stayed there for about 2 to 3 years, and I remember the ultimate goal at the end of the day was to make this home an asset and not a liability. So I decided to move out and I started my journey on a landlord, as becoming a landlord with a long-term tenant. And the journey was very interesting. It taught me a lot of patience. It taught me a lot about, just dealing with people. And I decided, after traveling a lot, I was staying in a lot of Airbnbs, and I knew ultimately that this was something I wanted to do because for me, it wasn't just about the money. It was more so providing the experience. I'm into like interior design. I literally rented out my house furnished fully. So like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, it just made more sense to get into the short-term rental space so I can also enjoy the property as well as other people. So I decided to get started with rental arbitrage in Birmingham, Alabama. I just got another apartment, rented it out in my business name, and it was under a corporate lease, and I was very excited. I furnished it so beautifully, like, I'm so proud of that. That's still my little baby to
People,
this day.
it sometimes you have to realize that like the design is what catches people's eyes that
Yes.
want to stay at your place. Not just the location, but like how you furnish, how everything flows together. People are like, you know what? I'm gonna click on that one.
Yeah, and it's so interesting that you say that. I only stayed in that area because I was familiar with it, so I can also provide, that experience of where to go, where to
Yeah.
eat. So all of that stuff made sense to me and came together. It wasn't so set focus on the location. It was more so just what can I provide for this guest that stays here? How can I make them feel like home? Because at the end of the day, Airbnb is like your home away from home.
Oh yeah, especially
Yeah.
when like with short-term rentals, you get to become a local. You're just steps away from,
Right.
major events or even a few blocks away if you're a downtown area from other, incredible restaurants. Yeah.
So with all of that coming together, I ended up getting started with that journey in 2021, and it's been amazing to me. I've been meeting people from all over the world, so just the experience alone has changed my life tremendously.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. So, where do you like to invest, Angie?
Yeah, some of my favorite places to invest are going to be down south. Any place with light regulations and just requires maybe just a business permit, and where the rent prices are a little bit stabilized.
What cities do you really kind of like focus on? Is there anything that tell your students where to invest in?
Yeah, so I started off investing in Birmingham, Alabama, and I also invest in Orlando, Florida. I really do like the vacationers, but I cater to business travelers as well. So Birmingham has actually surprised me a lot. So I try to stay in cities that are smaller versus like bigger cities like where I'm from.
Okay. Where are cities where you definitely will never like invest in?
New York. No, eventually, but for real, I would say cities that I wouldn't invest in would probably be major like areas like LA, New York City, Miami, and Houston. I kind of try to stay away from the big ones. I'm not opposed to the outskirts of those areas though.
We know Houston is very competitive. We know
Yeah.
LA has. We've had done videos where it's very tight regulations, but people try to make it out there.
Yeah.
So, where do you see yourself in the future? Like, what do you see yourself the next 5 years with short-term rentals?
With short-term rentals, the next 5 years, I'd probably say just taking on more as far as managing. I'd also like to eventually, one of my major goals is to buy an apartment building. So if I could get something where it could be a situation of renting it out to people who want to get into the short-term rental space, giving them the entire platform and training and everything to be successful as a host, and just kind of like help embrace hosting.
My ultimate goal is to have 100 apartments. like not totally just Airbnbs, but 100 apartments making, tons of income, cash flow
Right.
every single year, every single month. That's the
That's
goal.
it.
Once you get into real estate, it just keeps growing and growing if you know what you want to do and you have a goal to do it.
Right. Yeah.
A lot of people are struggling right now with short-term rentals. What's your biggest take for midterm rentals and helping people get out of just the short term?
So, as far as midterm rentals, I heavily advertise diversifying your portfolio. It is extremely important to not just rely on short-term rentals. There are a lot of vacancies that happen that a lot of people are not talking about. And if you're not financially stable and, able to actually pay your rent or your mortgage, that can be a problem. If you go into midterm rentals, you may have somebody who can stay in your property for about 3 to 6 months, and that might be your slow time. So I do think it's extremely important to do that. And the way you can get into midterm rentals is just network with insurance providers, travel nurses, business professionals, like doctors when they're coming, for a certain period of time to probably work on a surgery, and just pretty much get your name out there and do your own marketing for your properties.
Yeah. I know a lot of people have been trying to get on Furnish Finder. One that I learned from your channel was ALE Solutions.
Yes,
Have
my
you
favorite.
have you already had people go? Yeah.
Yeah, so
How
I'm
is the
actually
process?
with ALE Solutions, it's very similar to Furnish Finder. So if you are familiar with that platform, they're pretty much just the middleman. So you're directly communicating with the tenant yourself. So you have to be able to feel comfortable communicating, of course, and also providing leases. So your leases have to be on point. You don't necessarily need an attorney, but if you do, that's a plus. But there are templates out there, legaltemplates.com, for example, where they can actually provide you all the legalities, and you pass it over to both the provider, the insurance provider, and to the tenant once it's signed. So that's pretty much how it goes.
That's awesome. That's really cool. I know a lot of people have been struggling with short-term rentals, but now they need to don't necessarily get into long leases, but midterm rentals might be the best bet.
Yeah, for sure.
So we are in New York City, and you're hosting a huge event in the next couple of months, or next month, right?
Yes.
Can you tell us more about that? I know it's
Yeah.
international.
Yeah, so it's July 1st. I'm actually working side by side with Lady Q on TikTok. You guys can go ahead and follow her there. We are looking to educate the community on how to get into Airbnb and short-term rentals, not just locally in the US, but also abroad. A lot of people have reached out to me and asked me, how do I get started internationally? And, I wanted to collaborate with somebody who was an expertise in international. So she's actually from South Africa. So you guys bring your pens and papers. Early bird tickets are on sale right now for $80. I'll provide the link here so you
Yes,
guys can
definitely.
go ahead and get started. And I look forward to seeing you guys all there.
Well, see, of course, like it's here in New York City. It's
Yes.
July
July 1st.
July 1st, $80 for pre-sale tickets. We're
Yes.
definitely going to have the link for you. Thank you so much for coming out and speaking with us today. Hopefully you get some
Appreciate
good nuggets, and people
Yes.
want to invest all over the country and even come to New York City to come to your event.
Yeah, see you guys soon.
Thank you, guys.